Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are going to be talking about Arken Optics customer service and what's going on with it or what's not going on with it. Let's get at it. All right, so let's get at this right away and let's talk about this. Why is Arken Optics customer service such a heated and popular hot topic in the optics or the Arken Optics social media groups? Well, in my opinion, this stems right back to the Black Friday sales and those pesky lead times that they put out for some of the more popular scopes that they've had. You know, the EP8 and the EP5. Then they launched the new LH series scopes and then the Zulus. And they put out these lead times of 4, 6, 8 weeks in November. And we're sitting in late January and people don't have their stuff. People are impatient. People want it and they're throwing the shade at Arken Optics customer service. So let's pump our brakes a little bit here and find out what's going on. Let's talk about a few of the experiences people are having, some of the common resolutions, and some of the legit complaints with this customer service department. All right, now here we go. I know what a lot of you guys are going to be thinking. Here old Bob, old Ruger gun dog, what he's going to be doing is defending these guys top to bottom, side to side. That is not going to be the case with this content. What I want to do is talk a bit about some of the situations, some of the gripes that people have with customer service, see if some of these gripes are worth their weight and some of them are not, see if we got some common or popular or plausible solutions to some of the situations that people are running into with the customer service. Before I get into that, let's look at Arken Optics just for a hot minute as a company before we go just busting on their balls too much. Now, I know what a lot of you guys are going to be thinking. Here we go, Ruger Gun Dog, he's got all these videos on Arken Optics, probably works for him. I don't. He is probably going to be defending them front to back, top to bottom. Well, that is not the case. What I'm trying to do here is sort out some of the stuff that makes sense, some of the shit that doesn't make sense, and get to the situation with their customer service and how people can better get resolutions to their issues of not having their optics and or just simply dealing with Arken Optics customer service. But before I do that, let's look at Arken Optics as a company. Might help us understand this a little bit. Alrighty, so if I cruise around on the old interweb, the old internet, and I'm looking for facts on Arken Optics or any scope company, well, you don't find it on the internet. It's gotta be true, right? Well, regardless, if I dig around or you dig around a little bit on Arken Optics and some of the other companies, well, let's focus on Arken for a minute here. You're going to see it says that these guys employ 6 to 10 people. All right? 6 to 10 people. Now, one of the complaints that common complaint that happens in the social media groups is people are always comparing Arken Optics to that big V company or that big company with an L. I'm going to share a little information on those companies, Vortex or Leupold, and people are constantly comparing Arken Optics to those two brands. Customer service. Hey, I did this. They took care of this. I did that. They did this. Now, what I want you guys to keep in mind is Arken Optics has got less than a dozen people employed in this company per the internet. So, hey, maybe it's off by a couple, but it's probably pretty damn close. Look at the numbers of these other companies. You can quickly see the capacity of manpower to answer questions, resolve problems, all that kind of stuff with these bigger companies. It's simply not going to happen at that level with Arken Optics. In fact, if you're watching this video, the guys who are their customer service people who are in that social media group are probably watching this video and, hey, you guys need to chime in and post a comment. So listen. If you're looking for that quick response or you're looking for that telephone response, there's no problem about it. You're not going to get a phone call answer from Arken Optics. Now that does lead me to a situation with their customer service that could probably be better dealt with by Arken Optics. Like, hey, maybe you guys need to take that phone number off the web page for a while or off the box or do something if you're not going to have somebody answering the phone, because it is a bit misleading and it does kind of tend to almost piss people off when they're trying to call and they're not in the social media group to know that phone number is not working. So that's just one angle I'm taking here that I'm not going to say that's truly defending Arken, but it's something for you guys to keep in mind. If you're buying an optic from Arken Optic, you're buying it from what I call that garage band scope company. This is a small group of guys putting together a brand, putting together products, and getting it out to you guys. They don't have dozens or hundreds of employees. They don't have people on the other ends of phones and all these kinds of things to constantly address and deal with situations like those bigger companies do. Now, the next one, the big issue that's been popping off with Arken Optics customer service, really doesn't have much to do with them on the back end, but it does on the front end. And what I'm talking about is the shipping department. Now, Arken Optics uses USPS, the postal service, to ship these things. I'm not sure of the whole procedures or the policy and how they do this. I think it is a situation that Arken, if you're watching this, you might want to shuffle the deck or clean that up a bit. But one of the issues people are having, and they're getting a hold of customer service a lot, is they're getting that email, they're antsy, they're waiting. Ooh, where's my delivery date? They get the email, my scope has shipped. And then they check the tracking number, and the tracking number ain't doing shit. It ain't moving, it ain't going nowhere. And people are getting frustrated by that. Now, keep in mind, people are going to email the Arken Optics customer service people, and they are going to give the kind of canned response that, hey, once that tracking number is generated and it is out Arken's door, it is out of our hands, and you can't blame them. It is then in the hands of USPS. And again, you can go over the internet and find all kinds of problems with USPS, and we're not going to get into that. But again, once you have that tracking number, and if that tracking number is moving, it is out of Arken's hands or their customer service. You are now dealing with USPS. But let's back this up a hot minute and talk about the process that Arken is doing with generating a mass amount of shipping labels or whatnot, or shipping these things in bulk. Well, listen, Arken, if you're watching this, I'm suggesting that you might want to revamp that policy. Maybe even delay, hey, sending that email out. That email gets everybody's damn hopes up that my scope is on its way, and then it's not. Hey, hold off on sending that email out until this stuff gets moving. And maybe that's not the right solution. I don't know. But I'm just looking at it, and I'm just hearing the gripes and the beefs that people are having. And some of them make sense and some of them don't. But this is another one that is popping up a lot, and it has to do with these tracking situations. If you are on the back end of this, hold tight. Once that tracking number is sent to you in that email, it's probably going to take a hot minute or two to get moving, but it usually does. It always does. You're going to get the thing. Just hold tight on that. All right, now last but definitely not least, the actual customer service guys for Arken Optics. Now, what are we dealing with here? We're looking at like 3 guys that are answering all of these emails, all of these inquiries, and all of these questions that you guys have. We're looking at 3 guys that are busting their asses in social media and in email to try to answer a lot of trivial and repeat questions. People send the email 4 times, where's my scope, where's my scope, where's my scope? And I get it, you want to know where your scope is, but you're just slowing down the damn process doing that. We got some guys that are working as hard as they can for a small company that is keeping the manpower, the employee size down, keeping the overhead down, keeping the mass marketing down, keeping, everything down to offer all of us, because I buy my scopes too, an affordable product, a product that costs less money because we're not paying for that overhead, we're not paying for the marketing, we're not paying for a huge amount of staff. But let's back up, let's pump those brakes one more time. Maybe we would be willing to pay for a little bit more staff if they were to put maybe 1 customer service guy on the end of a phone, or bump that department up just a little bit to have somebody answering questions or helping out in things of that regard, to just ease the tension a little bit. Now, I don't know if these are all solutions. I don't know if these are any solutions. I don't know if these are even good explanations. But these are things that I'm seeing flying across social media right now with people getting hot because one thing, they want their Arken Optics scope because they know these things kick ass. So hey, I hope you find this content useful. I hope maybe it simmers you down a little bit. Be patient if you're waiting on your scope. These guys are doing their best. don't call the phone number. Email them one time. If you don't hear anything in a couple weeks, and I've said this in a couple of the other contents, email them again. Make sure you email the right email. I will put it in the description down below, along with, nope, no phone number, don't call the phone number, email them, and be patient. So hey, with this said, Arken Optics customer service, it is not the best, but this is a small crew of guys that are working their damnedest to get you your stuff as soon as they can. As far as the other end of the customer service, the warranty and the product and all that stuff, these guys will stand behind each and every one of their products with that lifetime guarantee. So with all that, I'm done talking, and like I always say, I don't know if I'm going to say it today or not. I'm really not talking about anything about shooting, but keep on shooting.